Okay.
Awesome. So let me get this going over here. And let me see. All right, can you see my screen?
No, we don't see it.
Ah, please hold. How about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me get this thing out of the way. There, how about now?
Perfect.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Mondays are, if you have the right mindset, Mondays are the best day of the week to get started. Right, Matt?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the way you start the week right here. You get your mindset straight. Today we talked about purpose, and let's get purposeful today.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to give you a little background of me. But actually, the first thing I want to do is Matt, thank you for your service. It's greatly appreciated. But I want to give you a little background as to why this community is so important to me. I'm a Navy brat. I was born here in Inglewood, home of the Rams. Go Rams! And then I spent the first few years of my life in Guam, which we all know is a gigantic military Navy base. Spent every weekend at the commissary shopping. Once we moved back to Long Beach, California, almost every uncle I have or had was in the service. Most of them in the Army. I think a couple in the Marines and a couple in the Navy. And then after that generation, only one cousin went into service, and he's living in Oklahoma right now, a former Marine. And, my heart goes out to these guys because it's something that I knew I was never capable of. So I'm trying to think of, well, what's the best way to say thank you? Well, they served us. So my mission, one of my big purposes is now to serve them. And so when I was introduced or found out that this community existed, I just looked up and I said, Matt, please pick me. Pick me, because it's part of my purpose. It's part of my mindset. But most importantly, it's a huge passion of mine. And I think if you do anything with passion, you're going to succeed. So I'm going to pass it over, you guys. This is Matt Gruidl.
Well, hey, I appreciate that, Drake. And, we are honored and privileged to have you as one of our regional ambassadors because we know what's in your heart. And part of this is having that servant heart. Less than 1% of our entire nation volunteers to serve. And so it's such a privilege to be able to provide the best education and the best experience for them. So, hats off to you, and we appreciate you, as the regional ambassador. Next slide. So this is me. That's a better picture of me in a sport coat. We're rocking the same shirt Drake is, and that is my better half. So Dina Watson. Dina Watson and I are the community leaders for KEW Military. And long story short, I'll make it quick. There was a lot of names that went up to run this community. And at one point, when they got down to the final couple, they started asking questions of, would you run this with somebody else? Well, both Dean and I said, well, if their passion, their heart, their desire is the same, yes. And so Dean and I reached out. We had a conversation together, and I think it was within 5 minutes of the conversation, we let KW know that we will only go at this together, pull us apart, because what we had was, you had the retired veteran with me, and somebody that was already serving team leader roles and leadership positions in KW, and you had that spouse, right? And Dina, who was running a mega team and a MAPS executive coach. So you got a bold coach, a MAPS coach, a spouse, and a veteran side. What a better way to lead the community. Next slide. So what is KEW Military? Next slide. So this is our mission. So our mission is to build the largest and most valuable community within Keller Williams International. And so when we talk about largest and most valuable, it's the education, the value that we provide every single affiliated agent, because we want to grow them personally and professionally, right? And that is our goal. And, you know, how do we grow military affiliated agents into millionaires? Next slide. Our vision is really simple. You know, we go back to the bottom paragraph where is our KW mission. How do we nest within the KW mission, right? And then how do we become the most impactful community for our veterans, for our spouses, for our supporters, our parents, and so forth. Next slide. So there's 3 pillars to KEW Military. And the reason there's 3 pillars is because we wanted to not only service the agent, we also wanted to service the market center leadership, because that's where I come from, right? So our 3 pillars are education and coaching, right? Community motivation and mindset, masterminds, events, and referral opportunities. Next slide.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
It moved on me.
Right. And so with KEW Military, there's 2 different membership levels. So we have KEW Military. KEW Military is absolutely 100% free, as it should be, right? So anybody that's affiliated in KEW Military has the opportunity to join KEW Military and be affiliated at absolutely no cost. Then we have the KEW Military Pro, which is the monthly investment community, which is $199 a month that our community asked us for, that provides something a little bit different than KEW Military, which we'll cover both. Next slide.
God, dang it. Sorry.
You're good. We'll figure it out. All right. So here's the benefits of joining KEW Military. Like we said, anybody that can go in there can join KEW Military, and it's absolutely free. So every single month, we provide 2 monthly learning series and 2 monthly masterminds. So it's the first Wednesday of the month and the third Wednesday of the month. And so it's an hour-long, 30 minutes of learning series coached by or taught by a guest that comes in, and then we immediately mastermind right behind it. For example, this month, we had Jim Rosales out of the PCS team, El Paso area. I think they did 266 transactions this last year. He got in the weeds for 30 minutes about lead generation during PCS season, permanent change of station season. When is the best time to call, right? Day of the week and all that. And then immediately we masterminded how we could implement that in our business. That's great for the agent. And it's also great for the market center, because we're providing that little bit of extra education for the market center to help them. We're going to start running a foundation of real estate class, basically working on the 5 things of a real estate job description. We have a monthly newsletter that come out. There's an individual Facebook group that's only for KEW Military. It's a great way to network and build referrals. And then we also have the command affiliation. Next slide. As we talked about, who's eligible? Originally, KEW Military was only for active duty, that veteran, or their spouse. And we realized that we have such a large demographic of those that want to come from contribution and help our community that we opened it up. So if you're active duty, a veteran, military spouse, if you're a Gold Star family, our heart goes out to you. If you're a military family member in the Reserves, National Guard, or if you're just that supporter patriot. You know, there's so many of us out there. I have a great friend of mine. He's a loan officer. He probably does 120 VA loans every single year. Blew his knee out, was never able to join, but his father served and died in Vietnam. You know, his family served. And so he wasn't able to, but yet he supports at such a high level. We wanted to make sure that we could open up the community to all of them. Next slide.
Is that it?
Right? So when you join, how do you join? Well, you simply go into command and you affiliate, right? You go into command, you go into the settings, you affiliate in command, you pick one of the affiliations, which is on number 2 there, right? And then make sure you scroll down to the bottom and you save. Once you do that, it'll update, and then we'll be able to get you on the email list to email you the newsletters and the links to all of the different things that KEW Military provide. Here's a great slide. It talks about what we covered. In January, we went over agent to agent referrals. And so we know that our consumer moves, and we know that we want to put our consumer on a 36 touch, right? So we're always touching our consumer. Why aren't we doing that with our referral partners? Why aren't we building and strengthening that same relationship with our referral partners? So we covered that in January. In February, we covered Skill Bridge. In March, we looked at the ahas and takeaways from family reunion. In April, it's all about lead generation during PCS season. In May, we're going to talk about the myths, the lies, the misunderstandings, and all the tips and tricks to the VA loan. And then in June, we're going to talk about closing out, right? Those contracts that close, the systems that work. Everything that we do is built on a crawl, walk, run. We get lead generation, we get them to the loan, we get them closed. As you notice, there's nothing for the third or fourth quarter. We don't plan the training for a year. We plan it by quarter. So right now we're hearing what the market's telling us, and we will start putting out July, August, and September's trainings. And yes, I saw in the chat, everything is recorded. It's on the one-stop shop portal where you can go there depending on your membership level and download all the trainings. Yes, they're all recorded.
Yeah. And those VA loans tips and tricks are so very important, because I don't know how many VA loans I've already done on transactions, and I've had to educate the listing agent so many times as to why they should accept the VA loan, because there's so much misinformation out there. And back in the day, for those of us that have been in the industry for a while, the VA loan had a stigma to it, right, Matt?
No, without a doubt. It's amazing to me. And what I love about what you just said, Drake, and why you're one of our regional ambassadors, is the understanding that everything that we teach in KEW Military is for the KEW agent, right? Our understanding is that the more that we educate our Keller Williams agents, we know that they will then educate the agent on the other side of the transaction, thus providing even more to our, men and women that serve, have served, or love someone or support someone that serves.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so our learning series, as we talked about, the first and third Wednesday of the month, it's always at 10 Central. The reason we do this is so that it's predictable, right? So that there's no change to it. So you can adjust your calendar. We know we properly time block so that it's predictable. So you know when and where this learning series is going to be in the mastermind. And then, as we said, it's always recorded. Next slide. KEW Military Pro. So KEW Military Pro, when Dina and I took over running KEW Military, we heard from the community that, yes, 2 learning series and masterminds are great, but what about that extra benefit? What can we get extra? How can we invest in ourselves even more? And through that, we developed KEW Military Pro. The same agents within Keller Williams can affiliate. So who's eligible? The exact same people. Next slide. The difference in KEW Military Pro is that you get the same learning series and masterminds. Now you have an on-demand learning library. You have exclusive pro mastermind. So depending on your level of production, you're going into a special group. So 0 to 3 million, 3 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 million plus. And we built it that way on purpose, right? So that you have that particular mastermind group to go into, right? There's in-depth interviews. So if we talk to, let's say, for example, Jim Rosales for everybody to hear on the learning series, well, then we turn around and do a 30-minute in-depth interview with them. There's only so many things you can land in a learning series and mastermind. Now the pro members can go in and see that interview and pull every single nugget out, not just the 1 or 2. There's exclusive coaching and training opportunities with the different classes we do. It's a different networking and referral opportunity, a whole different newsletter with all the live links and interviews in it. We actually have social media graphics that are posted every single month for you to use, so you don't have to worry about that. Different experiences at the KEW events. We do a quarterly book club, right? So every quarter we pick a new book, we read it, we update it on our app that we have, and then we host a live book club session for that. We have what Drake was in today. We do every Monday morning, we do a military mindset morning Monday, where we just spend 30 minutes talking about mindset. What are we going to do for this weekend? Every single time is different. I mean, we started out a few months ago talking about that 85 to 90% of those that had a New Year's resolution or a New Year, New Me, or a business plan quit in February. Why? They desired an outcome, but they failed to become. And so we cover those types of things in our Monday morning mindset calls. And so KEW Military Pro is that step up, that investment into yourself with the added things. Next slide.
Oops, sorry, back.
You're good. We'll figure it out. Right. We talked about the education pillar, all the things that we're doing, that we do in KEW Military, we do in Pro, but also in Pro, we do business planning clinics. We're doing a Rainmaker 30, 60, 90. So you're thinking about a team, you run a team. How do I do a team, right? We're covering that. We also break down into a lot of groups, right? I'm going to start hosting a group. The hardest thing a service man or woman does is transition from service to entrepreneur. It's so hard. So we're going to run special group trainings on what it's like to transition, right? We're also going to run some special things about PTS. Like I don't have PTSD. I have post-traumatic stress from the things that I went through all my deployments. Let's come together and have those conversations while Dina runs spouse groups and those things and reverse expansion. Dina actually has a team in Fayetteville, North Carolina, while she's in Tennessee. So how do we run a reverse expansion? Next slide. Right, we talked about the motivation and the mindset, the things that we do there. We know there's only two things in life we can control: mindset and action. Let's corner those and let's power those up every single week. Next slide. Right, so we talked about the masterminds, right? So every single, go to the next slide for me. There we go. So for the masterminds, we broke the groups down and we followed KEW's mission, right? So the first group is business worth owning, 0 to 3 million, right? This is how you establish a business. This is how you have a business that is actually worth owning. From 0 to 3 million, you're making money and you're running that business. The second group is life worth living. Now that you built a business, you're in between that $3 to $10 million in production. How do you really have a life worth living? The next is experiences worth giving. Well, now we're in the $20 to $1 million production range. We built a business. We're living our life. How do we give those experiences to the people that we love? Money is good for the good it can do. The fourth group is legacy worth living and leaving. We're at 20 million plus in production. We built a business. We're living a life. We're giving experiences. How do we turn that into generational wealth for those to come? And that's the way the mastermind and KEW Pro, how they're grouped together. Next slide. Right, we talked about the branded social media that comes out. Next slide. Right, the book club. Right now we're reading The Power One More. Came out of family reunion. We're having great feedback from it. It's a very powerful book. Even if you're not part of book club, I definitely ask you to get this book and read it. It'll change things in your life. Next slide.
That was Ed Milet, right?
Say again, Drake.
That was Ed Milet.
Yeah, Ed Milet. I mean, it's literally powerful. I mean, one of the most important things in the first couple chapters, he's talking about a piñata, right? He's talking about me and you are beating that piñata, Drake, and you're the one that breaks it. But what we don't see is the invisible progress that's being made. And when you translate that to your life, there's invisible progress made every single day. If you keep being, you keep doing, you will achieve where you want to. And that's what the book's about. Just one more.
Yeah. And if you guys,
such a powerful book.
I know that we have shared that link from Ed's, I don't want to call it a speech. It was, I want to say life-changing. You will be changed if you listen to what he said. It's impossible not to be. So I know that it's been shared within our system. If you haven't watched it yet, please reach out to your team leader, get a copy of it. Make some time, watch it. You will thank me.
Yeah, it's amazing. So here, I want to end with this. One of the things that when Dina and I took over KEW Military is we wanted to ask the question, how can we provide value that develops personally and professionally every single agent in KEW? When you look at the platform or the value and the training that we have, it's there for them. They plug in, they're going to grow. The other side of it is when I thought about the market centers, and I was a team leader for years, I can only do so much, right? There's dependent, interdependent, independent agents. How do I touch them all? Well, our community is one to help the market center. We're there to help the leadership, provide that extra value, that extra layer of training to keep them sticky to our KEW culture and what we provide. So the community is for the agent to grow them personally and professionally, but the community is also there for the KEW, that market center leadership to provide that extra level. It's hard to put all that training in. It's not only is the market shifted, leadership is shifted, right? We feel it in our pockets, but we also feel the weight of it as we're leaders in, the market centers and leaders in the company. The community is there to help provide that extra stickiness, to help, that gap in that seam in what you're providing while you're working through this shift. So we want to be there for the leader and the agent to grow them personally. If you want more information on KEW Military, Drake has these slides. You can scan this right here, and it's got everything from all the different, from the free to the pro, as well as the Kajabi portal where everything is. And, hey, if you didn't know this, if you ever opted out of anything in KEW, you've opted out of everything in KEW. So this link will also help you opt back in so you can get newsletters and those things. So that's it, Drake. What questions do you have of me?
What questions do I have? Let's see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, see what, any questions.
Let's see here. Yes, they're recorded.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
The masterminds that you spoke about, is that just for the pro members?
So there's two different masterminds. So you have the KEW Military, which is absolutely free to everybody. That the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday, those learning series and masterminds, they're free to everybody. The specific ones based on your production, they're the value for those that are investing in KEW Military Pro.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. What else you got for me? I can't see anybody, but I'm willing to answer any questions.
I know, I'm looking. I lost my I lost my chat button. I don't know where it went. I'm clicking on buttons and it disappeared. If anybody has any questions, please come off of mute and reveal yourself. What about you, Mary? Who in your market center do you think we need to speak with because they're not here today?
Sorry, I was trying to find my own mute button. I actually have a couple of, well, I have one that's currently on active duty. He's actually a Coast Guard. And then also I have several veterans in my office as well. I don't see them on here, so I can't wait to get the recording so I can forward it to them. Yeah, but definitely, even those that are not a veteran or in the military, I think that it's a great, great community. Your community actually touched me personally as well, because I have quite a bit of family members that's in the service. So I haven't tapped into those resources yet. So I'm obviously, hence why I'm on here, interested. So I definitely want more info and want to learn more about it as well, not only to bring it to my market center, but also something for my own personal, businesses.
Yeah, and what we encourage is, that's why it's open. I'll put my, my hat on. So, although, I'm a retired E9, 22 years, multiple deployments. My son serves right now with the 1st of the 73rd in Italy, jumping out of planes. He didn't listen to his dad. He had almost a nursing degree. He's like, I'm just going to follow dad and jump out of planes too, right? Yet, if I had never served, and this is the way Dean and I looked at it, that's my son, and I would want to make sure that I can educate agents that will help him understand that, you can build an additional 401k retirement-wise from from our industry, from a real estate portfolio. So how do we educate, the masses? And so that's why we looked at it, the supporters and the patriots, right? So 100% Mary, find out, you can send an email to Drake, and Drake can request it from us, and we can find out everybody in your market center that's affiliated. And then you can just talk to them about getting affiliated, and then they can plug in to the free learning series and mastermind and grow, and then see, what, maybe I want to invest a little bit more. But for right now, let's plug into the community and use that to leverage education and value to cross-pollinate that to, the young women and men that serve or did serve, that less than 1%. So I love that.
No, and I agree. And you know what, Matthew, also, you're right. You don't have to serve. You don't have to, even those of you that maybe don't even have family members in the service, but I can tell you, so real quick, quick story. So I lived in Dubai for 2 years. And of course, being an American, and an expatriate, I got my real estate license out there. And my main goal was, because when I was looking for a place, the service that I received wasn't the same standards that you and I are used to, right? Like here, we take care of one another, especially when it's our own. So I actually got connected to the CEO out there, which is the commanding officer for our naval fleet. And the boys were relocating to Dubai. And I had the opportunity of helping all of the relocation. And ironically, I helped them. I just actually got an email, last week from one of them that I helped in Dubai, he's like, Mary, I'm coming to California. You're in LA, right? I'm like, yes. He was like, I'm coming to Ventura, and he's going to be based out of here. And he was like, I want you to help my wife and I. I'm like, done, no problem. So hence why this mastermind right now couldn't come at a better time. But also remember, I mean, our community is just not for the US. We're all over the world. We have all of our men and women stationed everywhere. And believe it or not, I mean, they're also stationed in a lot of Timbuktu countries. I mean, one of them I helped in Azerbaijan, and I wasn't even in Azerbaijan, but it was an hour away from Dubai. And I'm like, let me just figure it out. It's an hour flight. I'll hop on the plane and let me see if I can help you. And I did. I was able to help them get a place. So just goes to show you, you know, and if I knew what I knew now with KEW Military, I couldn't even, I can't even imagine the threshold that I could have helped so many more of our men and women, but I didn't know at the time.
Well, and what we realize and what we've been realizing is that our military veterans, spouses, those that served, and those that support, they launch their careers faster than anybody else. And they sustain their career in real estate faster because they understand systems and models. They understand time blocking because we're used to it, right? They understand all of that thing. You know, we're used to standing operating procedures. Well, that's what the MREA is, right? It's our SOP to what we need to do every single day. They understand that. They have grit and they have resilience. So let's provide that same level of education, that same level of mindset to the entire Keller Williams community. They will then share it with the less than 1%, but it's going to grow them. As we look at Thrive 25 for market centers in KW, right? How do we support that at the agent and leadership level? Well, through KW Military Community.
Agreed, 100%, absolutely.
I think we need to hear from Robert Woods because he dressed for the occasion.
Yeah.
I did have a question though. Thank you for saying that. You had mentioned the class in May and all the other classes coming up. Do we just do that through the affiliation to sign up for those classes? And how do we find out the exact dates for them?
So what happens is once you affiliate in command, and I have the honey badger. You know what a honey badger is, right? A honey badger don't care, right? Right. A honey badger going to come at you every day, right? So the honey badger is Chris Ann Ruhlman. She's our director of operations. She keeps us from squirreling and doing all the things we do. So correct me at any time, Chris Ann. Yet when you affiliate, within a couple of days, you'll start getting the emails like welcome, and you'll start getting the emails, and through that will be a link, like a newsletter that'll have a link in it for you to register. Now, once you register, it's on your calendar for the entire year, correct, Chrisanne?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, and if you ever run, if you affiliate and it takes more than a week and you haven't got anything, just email military@kw.com. We man that. And we'll be able to get the information. But once you affiliate, you'll get the newsletter. The newsletter will have the links. You'll be able to click on the link and register for the event. It'll put it on your calendar for the entire year so you don't have to miss it. And then it's right there, and it's just a live Zoom just like this.
Copy that. Thank you.
And here's the other thing too. When you register, you'll be able to go to the Kajabi portal under KW Military Free, and you'll be able to go into that portal and everything. You'll be able to go to your own on-demand library, even if you're not part of Pro, and pull down the past recordings.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What else? Any other
Any
questions?
Quick question for you, Matt.
Yes, sir.
I affiliated a while ago, and I just double checked, and I am affiliated, and I've never received anything.
So what we'll do, Gary, is we'll take a look. Chrisanne, we'll take your name down. You may have potentially, if you, like I said, if you at any time ever opted out of any KW email from anything whatsoever, it dropped you from everything. So right here, Chrisanne,
Yeah, I just went in and to your link tree and opted in.
Perfect.
For those, so we'll see.
Yeah, and just so you know, 10 o'clock Central, we'll make sure, put your email, Gary, in the chat, and we'll make sure that we send you the link for the one coming up this Wednesday. It's going to be a great learning series with Aaron Ward this Wednesday. It's going to be a phenomenal one. So if you throw your email in the chat, we'll grab it, and we'll make sure that you have the link for this Wednesday's learning series. If not, Drake will have it as your regional ambassador. And here's the great thing. Dean and I run the entire community for KWRI. You have Drake. Drake has direct contact to us. And so as we get information, we push it all down to Drake. So at any time you have a question, if you go to your regional ambassador, Drake, and he doesn't have the answer, he'll come to us and we'll get the answer to him so he can push it out to you. We wanted to make sure that you had a regional ambassador that was agent facing, that could answer your questions and help guide you to make sure you could plug into everything that we're doing.
Okay, great. Thanks.
And most importantly, make sure you do the time zone math. We're -2.
That's right.
It's -2. That's all you got to do.
That's it. All right. Any more questions?
Matt, thank you to you and everyone on the call who's served our country. A quick question for the affiliation. Does it need to be through a particular link, or is that noted on the website? I haven't gone through it fully.
Yeah. So when you go to command in the settings, it's gonna, you're gonna be able to affiliate with KEW Military, and then it's gonna ask you, are you a Gold Star spouse, a supporter? It's gonna go through that. And if you're a supporter or patriot, it's also going to ask you what branch of service. We haven't got that link fixed. Just pick any branch except for the Marine Corps.
Ha.
I was going to ask for your address, Robert, and send you some red crayons, but I didn't want to do that
You were
yet.
so close to not doing that, Matt. We're that close. You had to go there.
I'm in
you
Southern
got
California.
That's it.
I'm actually I work at LA Harbor with Mary.
Okay. Yeah. I was born at Balboa Naval Hospital. My dad was a squid for a while. I chose the Army. I didn't want to be on a ship. I'd rather jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Understanding.
Any
Matt,
more questions of me?
I just want to make sure Chris Ann got all the emails in the chat. Omid and Robert. Okay.
Okay.
Look, Chris Ann is she can wrangle me and Dina. She's good to go because we squirrel everywhere.
Yeah. You should see the Marco Polos. Anyways, Matt, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful to have met you guys and to be a part of this. And it's going to be amazing. So if you guys have any other questions, most of you know how to get a hold of me. Please reach out. I will be reaching out to every market center shortly to get you guys even more information. But until then, again, Matt, thank you. Appreciate you. Chris Ann, thank you.
No, I'm humbled and honored. It's an absolute privilege. I'm going to get on that flight. I'm going to go change some lives tomorrow, coaching bold. So, everyone have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great.